What's up, YouTube? Oh man. Uh, you want to know how I'm feeling right now? Uh, I'm kind of feeling like that. Had a company party last night, which is cool. Company parties are fun. Um, I was at this art studio, which I don't know. I mean, the venue was cool. I think they were a studio that kind of made stuff out of airplane parts, um, like furniture and stuff. So had I think four Johnny Walker red labels, which is about right. Maybe three would have been better, or two with a beer. Maybe just a couple of beers. Not like you have to drink to have fun, but it's nice to have a drink once in a while. But man, this morning I'm kind of thinking, kind of wishing I had maybe one less and a glass of water to finish it off. Tried to start the bike yesterday. No dice. Had some starting fluid. Sprayed it in there. Intake. Nothing. Didn't get a pop. Absolutely nothing. I got at least one backfire before, so believe it or not, I'm actually thinking about putting the old spark plug in, which seems weird, but and I checked the spark with the new plug. It's not something I would have necessarily done all the time. You buy a new plug, you think the new plug's fine, you throw the new plug in, you expect it to work, but man, I didn't get nothing but a pop, and I'm beginning to think the carburetor is definitely the cause, although I really don't have a lot of motivation to today. It's going to rain the rest of the week, and it's sunny for the next couple hours, it looks like, so I really should take off the tank, which isn't too bad, but take off the tank, and the Suzuki designers did actually put a good amount of thought into maintenance on the bike, because the valves, usually you have to take the valve cover off, but on this one, there's two little valve adjuster plates which you can take off, or valve covers, if you will. So I don't have to take the whole valve cover off, which is nice because I don't have any RTV on me, I don't think. And I don't have a gasket, and I don't feel like taking it off. So I don't know if I'll adjust the valves. I don't have the tool. You don't have to have the tool. Tool makes it a little bit easier, but the valve stems the clearance will get smaller as the engine runs. The springs, the valves like this, and the springs, going up and down and up and down. It's kind of stretching the valve stem. So your clearance is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller till at some point you're less than zero. I don't know what the clearance they want is, but I'm going to guess, I don't know, like 6 or 7 thou, 8 thou, something like that, when the lobe is up and away from the stem. So it's kind of cool. It has a single overhead cam, but there's 4 valves in the cylinder, so each cam hits like a rocker, and the rocker hits two valves at once, so that's kind of cool. But anyways, yeah, bike's giving me grief. I mean, it's sort of to be expected. It has sat for a while, and I may have mentioned I did open up the carbs, and it didn't look too bad. But somebody on the forum, I posted on the Adventure Thumper Talk forum. There's kind of only a few forums that really talk about dual sports. Thumper Talk is one of them. Adventure Rider is one of them. So somebody was saying there's some weird little small holes in the carb. Some line that you should spray out. which I haven't yet. I'm not sure if I really want to take the carb off today, but it looks like, because I don't have a carb rebuild kit, I might just need to buy one. I probably should have ordered one right when I bought the bike. But, you know, that's how it goes. Still got to change the tires. I may or may not have a shop do it. I have done it before, but my motivation to do it is not super high. And if I can take them off, if I can bring them the tires in the back of my car, and it's like less than $20 a wheel to mount them, I'm just going to pay them to mount the goddamn things, because it's about 10 times easier with the machine than doing it by hand. You know, you got to work the bead all the way around, then work the next one all the way around, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. If you've ever mounted a motorcycle tire, you know it's not impossible, but other things I'd rather spend my time doing. Like eating croissants and doing laundry. Very important stuff. Have my windsurfing board for sale. I gave up on the boat. I think the bottom line is a windsurfing board is a great windsurfing board, and boats are great boats, but you can't make a boat into a windsurfing board, and you can't make a windsurfing board into a boat, and that's okay. I mean, if I was stuck on a desert island or something with the windsurfing board, I'm sure I could make it work, but I'm not stuck on a desert island, so I don't have to make it work. And I think it was just kind of costing too much time and energy and money. And what's going on, RG? I think RG. Yep, RG Homestead. Not much, just doing a little laundry, updating the world about motorcycles and boats, and being half hungover. Oh, man. I don't feel bad, but I don't feel great. Very neutral. And to top it all off, the coffee I got from 7-Eleven was garbage. This is a 7-Eleven cup, but I made my own coffee at home. The bike is still not running. I don't know what's wrong with it. Something with the carb, I think. Although I will admit there's not a kickstand. I think the bike came with a kickstand switch, like a start disable kickstand switch, but given that it looks like it's sparking when I kick it over with the plug ground out of the engine, grounded on the engine, I'm going to guess that the kickstart preventative start thing, whatever, is not operating right now. So I don't know what's up with that. It makes me a little curious. You know, usually, you know, if it wants the kickstand down, then the switch is going to be probably open, or one or the other. You know, it's either open when it's down or it's closed when it's down, and then it's, you know, it's the opposite when it's back up. It's a 1993 DR 350, and it looks like there's even a place to bolt on a kickstand switch. So I don't think that's the problem, but you never know. I really want to try to, I don't know why I'm so intent on trying to get it to turn over, but I mean, obviously I'm trying to get it running, but I would just really think that a couple jots of starter fluid in the intake would be enough to at least get it to pop if spark, timing, and, you know, compression and everything was good. So that makes me a little concerned, but I'm beginning to think there might be some kind of intake air issue, like the boot's cracked, or I'm not getting a good seal and it's just not. Yeah. So it just might not be sucking enough air and fuel in at all. Maybe not even sucking enough air in to suck the starting fluid in. I almost want to try to take the plug out, spray some starting fluid right in the cylinder, put the plug back in, try it again, just to see if I can, get it to spark or something. I've tried bump starting it a few times, but to be honest, with the decompression dealie, I'm not sure if you can kind of get it to turn over more than once without using the lever. I will say that somebody online was talking about bump starting it in fourth gear, which was helpful to me because I was trying second gear and that wasn't really working. So I guess third or fourth gear is a lot better to bump start it than second gear. Especially a bike with 6 speeds, second gear is kind of low. So if it's low for the engine, it's high for the wheel to go opposite, obviously. But we'll get her done. I have faith. Probably more faith in the bike than myself. Do you get the gas? Oh, damn, where'd that message go? Shit. Do you get the gas to come out on its own before the carb and after the carb? I don't know what that means exactly, but gas does flow out of the fuel tank. It is flowing into the carb. It's not the original petcock. It is a new petcock. And I believe I drained the tank through the petcock. So the petcock is working. I do not believe the petcock is clogged. There is I need to double check this too, but there's what looks like a port on the top of the carb. And I don't know if it was like a breather. I don't think it was a vent because the vent's on the side of the carb, but people were saying like, well, it looks like a tube plugs in there, but it's just a blank tube because the carb might have been made for some other bike and that tube was something. So I got to double check that there's not a gaping hole in the top of my carb because that would kind of be a problem. I saw on a forum somebody had taken a picture of their carb having taken it off the bike from both sides. So I think I might do that, if only for my own reference. God, man, it is getting hot in here. It's kind of cold outside, but I'm gonna unroll the window. But yeah, I think when I take it off the carb, I'm gonna post a couple pictures of what's going on, just so I can kind of reference, so that I'm sure that, the pilot screw is the pilot screw and the mixture screw is the mixture screw. But to be honest, those things you're kind of worried more about. God, I'm dying right here. You got to usually worry about that stuff more when it's running. I mean, a bad mixture, might make the bike hard to start, but hopefully it won't make the bike impossible to start. Yeah, the thing about, that's not a idea. I don't know. I would want it to be like a good quality car because you can there's a lot of aftermarket crap out there. And since it's not a new bike, I don't think I could get like an OEM. Actually, I wonder. You mean a new used carb or like a brand carb? I guess I would be a little nervous about getting a carb that wasn't a direct OEM replacement and putting it on there. But you know, I hadn't really considered that, to be honest. That's a very interesting idea. I mean, if you could get a carb for like less than, you know, $50 or something shipped, it'd be kind of tempting. Mm, man. Yeah, I could LA motorcycle salvage. I'll check it out. I will check it out. Perhaps it was naive to think that the carb is salvageable, but there's not, you know, there's not a lot of moving parts in it unless a little passageway just has a piece of grit in it that just won't come out, which I suppose is possible. I wish I had some compressed air. I don't, but I really wish I did. I could take the carb into work and blow it out at work. In fact, I want to make a thread chaser at work, taking a spark plug and kind of cutting the threads a little bit, just at like one side to kind of clean up the threads in the head a little bit. But yeah, new carb, not a terrible idea. Especially considering your carb rebuild kit's like $20 by itself. Even a used carb might not be a terrible idea. I mean, brand new would be better, but you know, with the used carb, you never really can tell what the history was, but considering my carb doesn't work now, might be a good idea. Now, let's watch LA Prepper perform surgery on himself with a giant knife. Giant knife that is not as sharp as it could be. I actually have a video of me trying to kickstart the bike. I also have a video of a walk around the bike. I just need to upload it, and I just keep forgetting to put my cable in the bring my cable up to the house for my phone. So I will have later today a video of the what the bike looks like. Although, to be honest, it looks like pretty much every other DR350 out there. It looks to be like pretty decent condition. It's relatively clean. There's not huge amounts of rust. Man, the inside of this knife is filthy. So, presuming the valves aren't completely screwed, there is a chance it will get running again. And especially with gorgeous days like today, damn, it was supposed to be cold and rainy all week, but it's like really hot right now. Slauson and Avalon. Did you used to live in LA, RG? Are you the one that used to be a cop in LA in Compton or something? One of my viewers used to be a police officer for like 20 years in LA, or 15 years, I think. It's rare that anyone knows anything about the city that I live in. LA Cycle Salvage. I'm gonna write that down. I suppose I could go back and check the comments on the stream, but yeah, thanks for the tip on that. Really appreciate it. Slauson and Avalon. Yeah, the carb. What the fuck is going on with my carburetor? I have no idea. But let me ask you, RG, do you think even if the carb was bad, that spraying starting fluid in it, if everything else worked, should get it to kind of pop? Or do you think if the carb is that messed up? Because I feel like if the carb was, you know, if there wasn't a big air leak, that starting fluid should at least give me a pop or two. I don't know if the filter was stopping the starting fluid from getting in there or what, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little out of practice on my motorcycle repair, I fear, but carburetors haven't really changed in 50 years or maybe even longer, so thank God I didn't get the IT350. That thing has two carbs. Fuck that. One carb's bad enough. Do not need two carburetors. I'm really hoping this thing is going to turn into a somewhat reliable bike once I get it going. Oh, okay, 58th north of Slauson near Avalon. All right, that's cool. I'll look it up. But, the internet sort of becomes whatever you search. If you search, I love my DR250 or 350, you're going to find a bunch of people that say, I love my DR350. If you say my DR350 doesn't start and it's a piece of shit, you're going to find a bunch of posts that say my DR50 doesn't start and it's a piece of shit. So it's like you search for one thing, you get all those results. You search for another thing, you get all those results. It is generally a well-liked bike, but I have also seen a lot of people say they're always kind of hard to start. I have to admit, I'm somewhat tempted to get it starting to just sell the damn thing, get an electric start, because the only problem is if I buy a motorcycle that runs, then I got to pay the real money. I got this thing for $900, They sell a dual sport that's running, you're not going to get for less than $1,700 around LA, because there's everyone wants them. All the damn preppers making motorcycle prices go up. Maybe I could paint it green and because I did just wake up, Billy Bird. Oh, James, that's awesome, James. I'm really glad to hear that. I know we had kind of like talked about your job search a while ago. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. That's really phenomenal. Big shout out to Mr. McIntyre. Yeah, getting a job is not a fun thing, and believe me, I've updated my resume recently since our company laid off a bunch of people a few weeks ago. I wasn't one of them, luckily, but you start reevaluating your place in the world when your company starts doing crazy stuff like surprise layoffs. And even my coworkers last night, I was talking to them about that, and they're like, you just gotta always keep your resume updated and keep your ears open, and it's kind of unfortunate that in today's world, employees are. Oh, thanks, RG. Oh shit, I guess I better write that down. 233. Oh my gosh. 2338792. Shit, I lost that message. Oh my gosh. I was sleeping in my car, right? I could sleep in my car if I wanted to. It's kind of nice having an apartment. I wouldn't save all of my rent every month because, life costs money, and when you're sleeping in your car, I think I would just kind of go too stir crazy. I kind of need a home base. I mean, I don't need a home base, but I really want a home base. I don't have to have an apartment, but it is kind of nice. You could take a shower at the gym. You may or may not remember, but I was actually living in my car for a couple weeks when I got to LA. I had a storage unit, put most of my stuff in storage, and chilling in the car. Now, luckily, I was working for Postmates at the time. So I had stuff to keep me occupied. But forced soon. Well, I hope not. Planning on buying a house in a couple years if the whole world doesn't come to an end, because then I can get some renters and fix it up and then become a greedy landlord. Because when you're the landlord, you don't care about whether or not you have a job. You just want everyone else to have a job. And even if your renter doesn't have a job, kick him out and get another one. Is it? They're always trying to make all sorts of things legal and illegal. I don't think you're going to get charged with a misdemeanor sleeping in your car. I think it's more about parking. I mean, it could be a city ordinance, but you can't make sleeping in your car a misdemeanor. That feel free to message or comment on the video the law applied to that, because I don't think it would be a criminal offense to sleep in your car. But I can see the city trying to make an ordinance, because that cities make bullshit ordinances for everything. Like, $53 parking ticket, you park on the street without a goddamn permit. How is a $5 permit turned into a $53 ticket? That's fucking ridiculous, if you ask me. If someone doesn't buy the permit, maybe charge them $10, $5 for the permit and $5 penalty. How do you charge 10 times more for the penalty than what the original thing you're supposed to buy in the first place is? That just seems like such bullshit to me. But if you show up, protesting $53 tickets in front of City Hall, people are going to look at you like you're crazy. Maybe I am crazy that I don't want to pay the city $50 ticket for parking in front of my goddamn apartment, which is kind of ridiculous, The world we live in, fees and rules and regulations and endless bullshit we have to deal with. That's why I got the dirt bike, so I could go jump on the bike and go ride around in the forest, terrorize the rabbits and the squirrels with my 4-stroke. Oh, well. I don't think they have enough enforcement. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, they're not going to go looking for people sleeping in their car, but if they see like a vehicle and they want to harass them, they can be like, "Oh, are you sleeping in your car?" Or da da da. They always want some way to harass you. Like the CHP lets everybody drive over the speed limit, but then that way, like, they can kind of pull over whoever they feel like, "Oh, you're speeding, you're speeding, you're speeding, you're speeding." Everybody's fucking speeding, constantly. Keep you in this state of law breakingness. They can just like come check you anytime they feel like. Oh my gosh. Well, my laundry is halfway done. I have to throw it in the dryer, and then I'm going to go get some groceries, and I forgot my bag for the groceries, so that's going to be super fun. I'll probably put it in a bucket, but hey, No, I wouldn't necessarily count on it. I mean, I have a tent, by the way. Yeah, I understand the locals calling on people sleeping in their cars. I would say I don't blame them, but you do kind of blame them. And I'm not even like super thrilled about going into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt on a house, but you kind of got to play both sides of the coin, collapsing, world not collapsing. If the world doesn't collapse, buying a house is a good investment. If the world does collapse, buying a house is still a good investment, because if the economy collapses, who's going to collect the mortgage? I still have a castle to defend, But yeah, so that's my top secret plan. Go into a bunch of debt, hope for the economy to collapse, and go from there, Maybe I'll fix people's motorcycles for cans of beans and ammo. Yeah, I know, Billy, but what do you want me to do? I still got a job. I still got bills to pay. It hasn't collapsed yet. I mean, we're seeing... I'll speak about this for a minute before I do some laundry stuff, but a lot of countries... we're seeing a lot of countries try to move away from the dollar. Very interesting, because the demand for the dollar is one of the things that helps make it possible for America to just keep printing money like it's monopoly money, which it kind of is. The only difference between monopoly money and regular money is that people don't buy stuff at the store with monopoly money. That's about it. If you could go to the store and buy donuts with Monopoly money, it would be just as useful as normal money. Yeah, I mean, there's all I hear what you're saying, RG. There's always sort of a ongoing paranoia about things are going to get bad and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. But by the same token, things that are bad do happen sometimes. Oh shit, my phone's getting hot because it's in the sun and I'm live streaming. So, Venezuela probably thought, oh, things are all right, things are all right, things are all right. And then, there's one shortage here and a shortage there, but hey, it's not too bad. I can just kind of go somewhere else. Yeah, that's really tempting, Billy Bird. I have to admit that's very tempting to just buy a lot and kind of put some property. The only thing is lots around here are so damn expensive, it probably wouldn't be anywhere close to LA. But, and even though it would be interesting to build a house, yeah, Y2K is a great example. Even though it would be interesting to build a house, it probably would be easier to just buy a house that's already built and fix it up because permits and cost and contractors and, you know, all that stuff adds up and just headache. No, I'm not married to the city life, Billy Bird, but city life has good money. I mean, it would be kind of cool to just move into the country and be like a handyman or something and just go around fixing people's tractors and houses. And there's a video that I watch. There's a guy I'm subscribed to. I can't remember his name. I'll try to give him a shout out when I get home, but he has his own like business and he just does stuff like clearing land and putting in pipes. And he's always running bobcats and bulldozers. And I'm like, that looks like a lot of fun. I could just run bobcats and bulldozers all day. I wouldn't care. I mean, I went to school to do, smart stuff, but dumb stuff pays the bills too. At the end of the day, as long as you got your bills paid, you got a roof over your head or a tent over your head and you got some food in your stomach, do you really care? Does it really matter, I don't think it does. Some people could say it's more noble to be a doctor than a plumber, but plumbers, doctors need their toilets working too. Trust me, nobody respects the plumber until your toilet doesn't work, and trust me, then it's like, oh my god, where's the plumber? All right, people, my phone's getting a little hot and I got to do some laundry, and I'm too semi hungover to hang out in the parking lot all day. But thanks for joining me and entertaining me for a little bit here in sunny Los Angeles, California. Until next time, keep prepping, LA. Take care, and I will see you later.